Hello, 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 and welcome to this week's session of The Journey Home. I'm Anjanette, and I'll be your host for this evening. So, I wanted to come in and just tell you about some exciting things that are happening to me, and then we'll get a little into health, okay? So, I started writing for Brains magazine, and my first article was published today, and I'm very excited about this because I get to help people in a real way. I know that people that read that article are looking at the title and they actually want that help, right? And that maybe I can help them through their journey. So I'm someone who suffered with autoimmune diseases, thyroid, gut health issues, and these are the very things that I help people with, right? So I think that's why people come online or offer their help. It's because they've gotten through something in their own life and maybe they were dismissed like I was, and nobody was listening for so long. And they want to help other people because they remember what that's like, right? So I feel like this is a little bit of expansion for me because it allows me to tell little bits of my story in a real way, in a way that can really help those people that are suffering through those situations now, right? So I've been publishing a lot more books. I'm redoing all of the designs for my shows because as I've grown, I look at them, they kind of look like, um, not really as professional as I like. They kind of look a little woo-woo. So this one will be changing too. The cover of the YouTube thumbnail will be changing, things like that. Not for the old ones, but for the new ones. So I'm going through a little expansion process in my business, taking on a lot more aspects of who I really am, even jumping into affiliate marketing. Isn't that cool? So the reason for me doing that is because I really haven't had a lot of products that I could stand behind and promote, right? But I found one that I really love, and I think it's going to help a lot of people. And they're not financially focused. They really are value based, and that's who I am at my core, right? Value first. So I really like what they're about, and it's a membership site and it pays you, right, to get healthy. And that's a big switch on healthcare. Healthcare has become a continual ATM, right? And a lot of things that are in the market, these quick fixes and medications they're putting out there are really making people sicker. So rather than, be negative about what they're putting out there, or I just found better choices that I can offer to clients, right? If people are going to take supplements, they are going to take weight loss products and stuff like that, even though I prefer to show them a simpler, softer way naturally, they are going to make those choices. So it only makes sense that I have those choices in my business, but a healthier version of them that's not going to leave them sicker in a body that they need more help in, right? So I'm very excited about that. Some of my partners in crime, we're in the same affiliates or friends that you see on my other shows, like Real Life of the Entrepreneurs. If you haven't watched that, that's a great show. And a personal friend of mine, CJC Boyd, Leslie Gaudet, who I love, has been on Healing from the Inside Out with me, and many of the other shows. And um, Laurelette Monegro does a show with me, Soul's Code, that I love. And we're just having real conversations about real issues that make us say, right? And we think other people are having those thoughts too. So we're having those conversations. And then Nikki Cooper is on another show with me, and she's another nurse. And between us, we have 75 years in healthcare. That alone is like, wow, right? And we're coming together and we're talking about the health crisis that's going on and the disassociation with self that's really leading to a lot of that sickness. So I hope you'll tune in to watch that. And building community is just that. It's about building community, meeting other people, highlighting other people and what they're doing that's amazing in the world. And Journey Home, the one you're in, well, this is my story, right? So I'm just sharing things that have helped me on my journey and hoping that it will help you on your journey, right? So I do help people with gut, thyroid, autoimmune, anything that stems from the gut is really my ball of wax, right? So That's that. So let's talk about what I went through in a way that's more related to health. So I've always had gut health issues and I've always had thyroid issues. And for me, it was a matter of finding out which one came first so I can bring them both back up and get my body working again. So my focus has always been a lot of people talk about the gut brain connection, the gut heart connection, but my focus has really been on the gut thyroid axis, and here is why. So, a lot of times, things that people are promoting as, a gut health expert out here are really the thyroid, right? The thyroid really is that cognition and those moods and stuff. So, a lot of times, it's the impact the gut is having on the thyroid that are causing it to be more glaring, but and the gut does have an impact on mood, but your mood is really regulated more by your thyroid, right? Um, so these two work together like beautiful, beautiful dance partners, right? And if one is stepping on the other's toes, it's not such a smooth dance, right? So your gut is really responsible for absorbing all the nutrients that feed that thyroid, right? And your thyroid is your metabolism. So it's responsible for the mobility, the motility, and the digestion, right? So how quickly the body digests, right? So and a lot of people talk about the gut in relation to immunity, but your thyroid is responsible for producing that cell immunity activity, right? So these two are thick as thieves and they work together in a very compatible way when they're both working. But when one comes down, the other one will automatically be affected. It's just a matter of time, right? So you'll see symptoms of both because both, whether it's your thyroid that's bad and it's impacting the effects on the gut, or the gut is bad and it's showing an impact on the thyroid, because when your body is a complete system, and when systems start to fail, they rely on the other systems to produce more, right? Because their output is less. So the other systems rush in to help, but it also stops them and hinders them from being as active in what their roles are because they're busy focusing over here, and little by little they will break down too, right? Because just like the heart that's always pumping, like if you're an AFib, a VTAC, right? It's going, right? And it can't put out at that amount. It's not meant to, so it will slow down and stop, right? Um so this is how the body works, and this is how the system starts to come down. So a big problem in healthcare today is that doctors have been niching down a long time. They study the body their whole life, and then they pick a specialty, and maybe they get away from how that body works together, right? Because they're only focusing on this area. So when people are presenting with other system problems or symptoms from other systems. That was a toughie, huh? That all those S's. Um, they might not be as in tune as if they were looking at that on a regular basis, right? So the progression of healing might not be as quick as if they went to a physiatrist, is someone who deals with the entire body, and really has to know how all those systems connect together, right? So, and in the field online, um, everybody's branching out and talking about different things, and you have a lot of people adding their advice and a lot of misconceptions about what health really is. And they're all niching down as well, too, because they're told they'll serve no one if they talk to everyone. But the body isn't everyone's problem, right? So you can talk about the body in general, but and highlight your specialty without neglecting how these other parts of the body come into play, because they do come into play, right? So It's like that person who only diets but doesn't exercise, doesn't sleep well, doesn't drink enough water. They're not going to be healthy because sure, they're eating right, but they're not doing any of the other pillars of health, right? So it's the same when you try to micromanage one system, but you don't take in any of the other pillars that really encompass health, right? And who we are as people. So there's an emotional aspect to that, there's a physical aspect to that, and a lot of people, spiritual, a lot of people get stuck in stories from the past, right? And because they've tried at things and they might not have been successful, and it could be because they were dismissed by a healthcare provider, but nobody knows your body better than you. So if you think there's something wrong, there absolutely is, and don't give up. Look for someone who's going to listen, right? That's kind of why I came online. I didn't like how I was dismissed, and I wanted to be that person that said, hey, if you believe there's something wrong, there absolutely is, because you know your body, and you have to believe that in your heart amongst hearts, right? And just keep going for those answers, and find people that you can really get that support from and those resources and figure it out, or get someone to help you on that journey, right? So I went through a lot of misdiagnoses and a lot of trauma over those years trying to figure it out. It affected my childbearing. It affected my mood. I mean, I was always depressed. I blew up like a balloon. I was in a 300-pound body. My self-confidence started to waver. I had no energy, and those are just minor things, right? But I started losing trust in myself, like thinking that, well, the doctor says there's nothing wrong, so maybe he's really right, and maybe I just need to focus more in on taking care of myself. But it didn't matter what I did, nothing changed because nothing was changing. They weren't focusing on the real issue. So um, healthcare has gotten very away from healthcare, what healthcare is. There's a lot of misinformation online. So sometimes I just try to come online and give my insights and be the voice of reason in all this muck. Because if you're eating right and you're eating to nourish your body, then health will ensue, right? But you do need all those pillars. So, my girlfriend and I are starting a show on affiliate marketing because a lot of people online show up because they really want to help people. But there's a lot of people online that are just taking advantage of people too. And maybe some people gave up trying to create a better life for themselves, or another side income, or and today you really need multiple streams of income no matter what you do in society. I'm a health professional and I still need extra income, right? We all do. Inflation's through the roof, everything's crazy, right? To live a certain way in life, you want to be able to buy things for yourself without worrying where the next dollar is coming from, right? So, mindset is part of that, right? If you're always looking for the money, it's not going to be there, right? Uh, it's not because you're in lack instead of abundance, right? The things you think about the most really do impact your life, and those are the things that will keep showing up in your world. And I really believe that my whole life changed when my mindset changed, right? So I talk about that, and that's a big part of health. So my message today that I want to leave with you is that whatever it is in life that you want, whether that's in your relationships, your health, in you know in your wealth, there's if there's a will, there's a way. It's about finding what you're good at and putting yourself out there and taking those risks. Not every risk turns out well, right? But that doesn't mean that you don't keep taking those risks. You're not betting on other people, you're betting on yourself. And if you bet on yourself enough, you are going to win every time, right? Because every failure is a stepping stone to success. People look at failures as a bad thing. It's not a bad thing. It's a great thing because it teaches what you need to know to get better, to perfect your craft, to master your trade, and really get the knowledge that you need to live a happy, abundant life, right? So we're going to be talking about some of our favorite affiliates programs online because we've been out here a while and we have multiple streams of income. It also helps you because if one part of your business is not doing great, you have something else that's still generating other income, right? So it's just important that you're selective when you pick those things. If you can't see yourself standing behind a product, it doesn't align with who you are at your core, then it's not a good product for you to be an affiliate for. You don't sign up for these just because it promises a lot of money. So we're going to be talking about building your list and how to do that in safe way, whether people say yes or no. So those are things that you should look out for on my other shows because really, really, they're really great shows, and I hope you'll tune in. So that's enough from this week's session. We are going to be talking more about the gut thyroid axis because that's what is it's something that brings me so much joy because when you combine these two, you are absolutely in the best health of your life. When you have these two working in sync together, they are controlling all the major functions in your body and they're doing it together, not in isolation. Because like I told you, the whole body works together. So if you're struggling with something in your health, I always have resources on my site at Pounds to Go. You're free to come in and check them out. They don't cost you anything. I'm always adding something to my website, new books. I just created a book series, The Rainbow of Wellness. It's really talking about the color your plate concept. So when I was on that journey, people always said, color your plate, eat the rainbow, but nobody explained what it is. So I break them down into little books and tell people why all of your phytonutrients and all your polyphenols and all those vitamins and minerals cohesively bring health, right? So they all work together. So if you're someone that always eats your greens, then you don't need that book, right? But some are more specific, like the red is for heart, and there's other things in there, recipes, phone facts, and it's a fun way to learn about what's going on in your body. So my focus is always on the green, the tans, well, I eat them all, but I focus more on my greens. I do a high anti-inflammatory diet to keep my autoimmunes at bay. They are no longer a problem and we want to keep them there. When you find something that works for you, stick with it because then you found the master key to unlock health in your body, right? So there's a lot of people that will tell you what you need and you know what you can manage, where you are in your health, and what's important to you. So always keep that in mind. Have a great day, guys. Thanks for tuning in.